Good morning, cadets. Today we'll continue the chapter My Childhood. Yesterday we have started the lesson. The first paragraph tells us about his parents, Janaluddin and Ashiamma, his mother, and how he has inherited all the good qualities of his parents. Second paragraph. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. So he says that his parents were quite handsome and beautiful, and definitely Dr. Kalam was an average looking man, but the work he did was handsome. Though he was not physically handsome, his work and contribution as a scientist, as a president of India, was handsome. So he says that he was born to very handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. So they were living in the ancestral house, pakka house. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, necessary necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicines, or clothes. So his father was very strict and simple. He thought that only necessities should be provided to a child. Unnecessary luxurious life or comforts should not be given. Children should know struggles. And medicine, clothes, food, these are the basic necessities, and his father used to provide. In fact, I would say mine was a secure childhood. So the lesson's name is My Childhood, and he proudly says his childhood was very secure. His parents used to provide him all the basic necessities, and they themselves possessed good qualities. So he inherited all of them. So his childhood was secure, both materially and emotionally. Third paragraph. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. So Dr. Kalam has seen even the Second World War. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. Hope you understand tamarind. Tamarind is a huli, which you say in Kannada, that is imli. So suddenly during the Second World War, this tamarind seeds, there was a demand. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision store on Mosque Street.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming, ma'am.
Okay. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. So these were the days of anna. My brother-in-law, Jalaluddin, would tell me the stories about war, which I would later attempt to
Hello, ma'am, you are not audible,
debunk.
ma'am.
So we were talking about when the prices of tamarind seeds had gone high during the Second World War, and a day's collection would fetch me a princely sum of anna. Even Dr. Kalam did it. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join India was forced to join the Allied forces, and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in the form of suspension of train of the halt at Rameshwaram. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. So his town was not involved during the Second World War, but suddenly something happened, and the train which used to have a stop at Rameshwaram, they cancelled it. That no stop at Rameshwaram. People used to receive a newspaper, and they used to halt the train here. But now the halt is not there. So what happened is that his cousin brother's business got affected, Samsudin. That forced my cousin Samsudin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles. And as if he naturally, I filled the salt. So Samsudin's business of newspaper agency was affected because somebody would throw the newspaper, and down somebody should catch that newspaper salt. So Dr. Kalam got that job. Samsudin helped me to earn my first wages. This is the former president of India speaking. He says that the first time I earned money was to catch the newspaper which was thrown from some train. So, such a humble person he is. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. So, he says that though I have earned the highest salary a Indian can earn, that is, President of India earns the highest salary, but I still feel whatever Samsudin gave me, that was really a different thing. A surge of pride has come to his mind. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment. And I trained in certain ways by figures of authority. So many things are inherited. Then we see our surroundings and learn some qualities. So he's saying that I can proudly boast, if I am honest and self disciplined, all credit goes to my father. So if Dr. Kalam is honest and self disciplined, he says, I inherited honesty and self discipline from my father. And if I am religious, good, kind, then it is from my mother. From my mother, I inherited faith in goodness, deep kindness. So did my three brothers and sister. I had three close friends in my childhood: Ramanand Sastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan. All these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. So he was a Muslim, and he had friendship with three Hindu Orthodox, that is very, very religious and conservative Hindu Brahmin. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because our religious differences and upbringing. So, if the parents are good, they will never tell a child that we are high caste, somebody is low caste. So, Dr. Kalam says that four of us were very good friends because we never felt differences. And that was just because of our upbringing. Upbringing is whatever good upbringing your parents give you. In fact, Ramanand Sastri was the son of Lakshmana Sastri, the highest priest of Rameswaram temple. Today, the society has become very modern, but way back in 1930 and all, the society was very conservative. So he was the son of the priest who was conducting puja in Rameswaram temple, and the son was Dr. Kalam's friend. Later, he took over the priesthood of Rameswaram, and when his friend grew up, he became the priest in Rameswaram temple. Every time I keep on stressing or emphasizing the fact, see the humility of Dr. Kalam. He is not boasting of some friends who are well settled and all. He is remembering his simple childhood friends. The friend became a priest and Kalam became president of India. But he remained humble and simple throughout his life. That is the underlying factor of his character, and no doubt he becomes people's president. So you can see how conservative the society is, the Brahmin functions and all carried out. Tamil Brahmins in Rameshwaram. So our family used to arrange boats for carrying idols of the Lord from temple to the marriage site. So these are the pictures. Now let us read. Arvind then went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. So his another friend Arvindan, he became engaged in transport for visiting pilgrims, and his friend Shiv Prakashan, he became a catering contractor in Southern Railways. So the basic quality we should learn from Dr. Kalam is that we should never forget our roots, our old friends. They did not achieve the highest level in their profession, these people. They were catering assistant, priest, or arranging for visiting pilgrims. But he has spent his good days with them, so he remembers them in his Wings of Fire. So once again, please read that book. During the annual Sri Sitarama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of Lord from the temple to the marriage site situated in the middle of the pond, Ramatirtha, which was near our house. Events from Ramayana and from the life of Prophet were bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. So there was a festival, Sri Sitarama Kalyanam, and Kalam's family used to carry the idols of Lord Rama to the temple. So it was all that there was no religion, caste, everybody was working together for the function. And Kalam says that his grandmother was so modern that she used to tell him the stories of Prophet Muhammad and Ramayana also. So from the childhood itself, he did not distinguish between human beings. He considered everybody as a human being. Then, one major incident of his life, one day when I was in the fifth standard at Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramanand Sastri, who wore the 7th paragraph. Yeah, you can see how the function and all. Who wore the sacred thread? The teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. So, after becoming the president of India, he is writing this book, The Wings of Fire. But the discrimination which the teacher did has affected him. So he has highlighted this in his Wings of Fire. He says that he always used to sit with his friend Ramanand Shastri. But the new science teacher, when he saw that a Hindu priest son is sitting with a Muslim, he threw Dr. Kalam to the last bench. In accordance with our social ranking, as a new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the last bench. Such a practice an educated teacher should have never done. I felt very sad, and so did Ramanand Shastri. So Ramanand Shastri was also very worried. Why did the teacher do that? The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left lasting impression on me. So the teacher has created the poison or the seed of caste in the mind of the children. The children, they were enjoying each other's company sitting in the first row. But the science teacher, when he or she did it, it had lasting effect on Dr. Kalam's mind. It did not go even after he became so successful. He says that a human being should never be separated from the other human being on the base of caste and religion. That is why the last line says, when his friend Ramanand Shastri cried, it had a lasting effect or impression on the mind of Dr. Kalam. Is caste so important? Is religion so important? It may be important in our house, in our customs, in our patterns of living, but in the class, two children sitting together, reading together. So, this incident had a lasting impression on Dr. Kalam's mind. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. So both the children, they were best friends. So when they were separated, they reported the incident. And you know, in old days or in villages, priests, they have a good hold on the society. And Lakshman Shastri, what did he do? He summoned the teacher in presence of these children and told very beautiful thing. He should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the mind of innocent children. A teacher should tell good things, modern ideas, and not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance to the children. He bluntly asked the teacher either to apologize or quit the school and island. Ramanand Shastri was very clear. He told that you are welcome to quit the job or you apologize, say sorry. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshman Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. The teacher was very young, still, he had orthodox and old beliefs. So, Lakshman Shastri behaved maturely and conveyed the message. The teacher also understood that one should not discriminate children on the basis of caste, religion, and they should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance. So, Dr. Kalam has seen a lot of ups and downs in life. He has suffered. That is why he very minutely jot down all the incidents in his Wings of Fire. And it is definitely somewhere what has pained him as a child when he was enjoying his life. The teacher applied brakes to his good life, but the interference of Lakshman Shastri has definitely brought out the change. So we should behave properly and not cultivate the seeds of social inequality and communal intolerance.